This video will explain the difference between a deductive and a non-deductive argument. So there are two types of argument. We can split the arguments that we will be looking at basically into two types. One type is deductive. So these are arguments whose conclusions follow, or at least appear to follow, necessarily. So an example would be, all teachers are funny. Karen is a teacher. Therefore, that's what the sort of triangle of three dots, it stands for therefore. So you read that as, therefore, Karen is funny. So these are arguments where if the premises are all true, then the conclusion, at least in theory, must also be true. That is what it's claiming. The other type of argument are non-deductive arguments. And these are arguments whose conclusions follow or appear to follow probably. So they don't claim that their conclusions necessarily follow, they just probably follow. So an example would be 90% of all teachers are funny. Karen is a teacher, therefore Karen is funny. Obviously, we can be more certain of the deductive arguments because it's claiming that all teachers are funny. So if Karen's a teacher, then she must also be funny. Whereas the non-deductive argument is less certain. It says 90% of teachers are funny. So if you know Karen's a teacher, then she's probably funny because 90% of them are funny. And so, probably she falls in that 90%, but you don't know for certain. And so that's the main difference between the two. When we get to non-deductive arguments, we're going to be sort of breaking that down further. There's different types of non-deductive arguments and different things that make them strong or weak. But we'll get to that in another module.